Dr. Max Kevington, and this is my associate, Dr. Julius Irving. Let's start with a question. Do you like treats? Well, of course you do. But when I say the word treat, each of you pictures something slightly different. You picture a belly rub. You picture a bone-shaped biscuit. You picture a butt scratch. But there are two distinct types. Regular treats and ultimate treats. My ultimate treat is research. As you know, Dr. J and I are at the forefront of several fields, all with the sole aim of getting you more treats. In our 2008 study, Dr. J and I mapped the paths of the squirrels in our backyard, in the trees and on the fences. We found that the squirrels in our backyard were most active from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. We also found that there was a particular section of their path, a 2-foot vertical jump between the fence and the tree. Now we found that with a properly timed bark, we could take the average squirrel fall rate from 0.022% to 4%. This is a 181 times more likely fall rate for a squirrel. We then turned our attention to cats. Now, in order to catch a cat, you have to understand the cat. But to understand the cat, you have to know where the cat is. We started by plotting the appearances of cats in our backyard. We found that 87% of cat altercations happen between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. Additionally, 65% of these altercations are at one particular place in our backyard, an intersection of two fences. Interestingly, we found that 49% of all cat altercations are between the same two cats. Knowing where cats are, we can now begin to compile data that will turn the impossible into reality. Soon, thanks to Dr. J and I's research, the first cat will be caught and eaten. We are also very excited. We are on the brink. Unfortunately, Dr. J and I have recently been interrupted in our research by an unexpected source. This is my dad. He always wants to play. He follows me wherever I go. He gives me lots and lots of snacks. This is my mom. She's a nice lady. She has the softest pets, and she gives me table scraps. And this is Casey. Casey can be really enjoyable sometimes. Other times he can be a total cat. For instance, he'll pet me quite often. But then he'll want to play while I'm asleep. He'll take me for a ride in the car. But then he'll forcibly wipe my paws before letting me in the house. And he never shares his food. Now, these were all minor inconveniences that I was willing to deal with until Casey started interrupting my research. I would be in the house crunching numbers with Dr. J when I would hear a meow from somewhere inside the house. I would run into the room where I had heard the meow, and I'd find no cat. Only Casey making stupid, fake meows. Now, I'm a dog. I know I heard a cat. There was definitely a cat in there. But I can't hear the cat and echolocate it because Casey's meowing at the same time. This is going to be a major obstacle in my research. How could I understand why a cat meows if my data is sullied by Casey's interruptions? I needed a different kind of data. I started where any scientist would. Observation. I started watching Casey at every moment I could without rousing his suspicion. And what I found was trouble. 93% of the time that I heard a cat in the house, Casey would be meowing at that same time. 78% of the time that I heard the meows, I would then be let out of the house to go find the cat. Of that 78%, I found a cat outside 0%. further into the data, I found something even more troubling. 100% of the time that I went outside, my family would soon have a delicious smelling meal. There was only one conclusion. My family was eating cats and excluding me from the meal. Now, the rest of my family shares their food with me, but Casey doesn't. Casey was the one to blame, but I was going to be thwarted by her. I started with the magic food box. I slept near it day and night, hoping to catch a whiff from outside of it as it was open. I thought that the cats might be in there something like this. There would be a... There would be some sort of box, container within the magic food box that would prevent smells from escaping. After many smell tests when the door was open, I found no cats. I then turned my attention to my family's sleeping quarters. Every time I was let in the house, I would thoroughly smell each room, searching for some trace. Every room proved to be nothing. Then I turned my attention to the garage. Perhaps it was some sort of massive cat reservoir. Smell tests were negative. Then I thought perhaps the talking plastic rectangle was where the cats were. I had heard meows come from there before. Smell tests indicated no trace of cats at any point in my lifetime. My most promising location was this, a crawl space beneath the house. I thought it might work something like this. Additionally, I had seen my dad go down there once with a large wrench. Perhaps he was repairing the cat trap or bludgeoning a particularly stubborn cat. I needed to get into the crawl space. As I was formulating a plan to get down there, Casey disappeared. He's been gone a long time now. Longer than any member of my family has ever been gone before. With him absent, I needed to turn my attention to formerly collected data. I was looking for some sort of cat relationship with Casey. Perhaps he had allied with them. I thought maybe these things were some sort of The only reliable piece of data I have now is that I miss Casey. Yeah, his fake meows are annoying, and he never shares food. But I'd rather have Casey back than a bucket of cats.